Welcome back to Living Local. The Figge Art Museum is showcasing the work of local artist and St. Ambrose University professor Kristin Quinn. Her exhibition, Luminous Flux, Paintings from the Watershed, captures the changing moods and landscapes of the Mississippi River region. And here to tell us all about it is the artist herself, Kristin Quinn, in this segment sponsored by the Figge Art Museum. You're amazing. Let's just start there.
Thank you.
Your work is incredible. And it must be so cool to have it showcased here at the Figge Art Museum.
It's an honor, to be sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think so much of the work has been created, inspired by this waterway. It really feels like a homecoming to bring it here.
Absolutely.
So.
And you're no stranger to the Figge, because you were telling me some of your work was in the opening showcase back in the, whenever that was.
I think it was 2007.
Yeah. I mean, it's been here for a long time, I know.
Right.
But that's so cool that you've already had work here, and this little gallery is amazing. So your exhibition is titled Luminous Flux, Paintings from the Watershed.
Correct.
Let's talk about that name and kind of what it means as a general theme.
Technically, luminous flux is it's a term used in physics to measure light.
Okay.
And my father was a pretty famous physicist, so I was looking through some of his color books and thinking about light refracting and color changing, and we thought the title Luminous Flux sort of referenced upbringing with this famous physicist, and also the things I do out in nature, which is you spend a lot of time if I'm birding, you spend a lot of time watching for clues, watching light change, watching form shift. So I think the title's apt for that.
Yeah, I love that your father was a famous physicist. That's fascinating. That's for another time, isn't it?
Yes.
And I just love I was telling you before we started, like the work you get a certain vibe immediately when you're looking at them, and you're like, these are certain parts of the river that I know that I've seen, and I love that. And so nature inspires your work, of course. And how does that process work for you? When you're staring at a bluff, or one of the many parts of the Mississippi River. How does that inspiration strike?
Well, I'm not like a classic landscape painter, so I don't hike a bluff with a easel. I'm not out there painting in the field, but I'm out there for long enough that things strike you. I mean, and you carry them back to the studio. So it might be the color of the sky as it shifts to pink, or it's, the reflections on water. So just emotionally things strike you. So sometimes you take a photograph, but usually I remember it and recall it in my studio. So it emerges out of the layers of paint, just naturally.
And your paintings kind of capture, not only what you see, but you were chatting about memory and just kind of the mood and the atmosphere. How do you bring all of those feelings into the work? Because there's layers upon layers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I do want them to feel as if they're not fixed in time, that they have history, that they can feel like something fading or something firming, something composing, something decomposing. I want them to feel like a state of flux. Light is slipping, so things are being like dreamlike in a certain sense. So. Yeah.
One of the things that I did notice about some of these when I was looking at them was every time I looked at them, I did see something a little bit different. And it was as if they were kind of like changing. Obviously I know they're not, but like when I looked at them the first time, I got one thing, and then I went back again and I got a completely different thing. So it's a really cool experience to look at your work.
Thank you. There are many histories underneath the painting. So if you work on a painting for about a year or two, some of them are about 2 years in the making, there's a lot of previous lives in there. So I do want them to kind of unfold and feel like there's almost geologic strata. I really want them to feel like it could be weather approaching, weather changing, it could be wind coming, it could be, and so some of the motion in the paint could suggest change. Some of the way I work with edges, this is kind of technical, but sometimes they appear to firm and melt. So it looks like the paint is kind of ebbing and flowing. And so I play with edges a lot, very specifically, so it feels like they're shifting and changing. But I think that motion in the paint, the weather coming, adds a little bit of an edge to the painting, which I like.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And I don't always say that about people I interview, I promise you, this is all genuine. And you've been part of the Quad City arts community for a long time, you know, between your work at St. Ambrose and just as an artist. What does it mean to you to share this work with the community, because it's so, you know, it's so tied to the Mississippi River that's just like steps away from here?
It's a privilege. I mean, I don't want to belittle the question, but it's just a real privilege and an honor. And it's also been, I mean, I've been at Ambrose for a long time, so it's been touching to me to have many of my students have come back to see the show, and so it's been really exciting to sort of reconnect with my long history of teaching.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
And you know, when people walk through the exhibition, what are you hoping that they'll take away from it?
Well, simply, I hope they get outside, you know, get off their phones, get outside, look at light. Watch things changing, watch birds flying. I do this exercise with my students where I say, leave your cell phones at home. We're going to take a walk in this park, and I want them to write down everything they see, everything they hear, everything they're struck by.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. So I think that would be a good assignment for people who come see the show.
A good assignment for everybody, really, at this point. Well, thank you so much. Truly, your work's amazing, and I hope everyone can come check it out. So thank you so much,
please come.
Kristin.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Again, this segment was sponsored by the Figge Art Museum. You can learn more when you visit FiggeArtMuseum.org, and we'll have all those details posted at ourquadcities.com.